The name of this next horse is Hoof Hearted, but listen to the call.
Hoof Hearted on the extreme outside. Colorado Co-Ed, Toast a Dozen on the inside. Quester's Jet, Hoof Hearted on the outside, it's close. Hoof Hearted in the winner's circle.
¡Claro que sí! ¡Ay, ja, ja! ¡Sí, señor!
What is up, pod people? This is another episode of Hoof Hearted. I am Doc, and with me is Mex. Mex, what's up?
What's up, Doc? How's it going out there?
Fine.
And then you and the other podsters, pod people.
Pod people.
What up? Podcaster listeners. That's pod racing. Sorry.
Dude, the pod racing game that was like on, I don't know what
Nintendo?
system was it? It was on, yeah, wasn't it on like the 64?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fucking.
That's the one I had at least.
That was a dope ass game, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the one in the arcade was good too.
Wait, the one where you could like do the snow mission and then fart Darth Vader if you get far enough?
No, just the pod racer one.
Oh, that a pod racer one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyways, all right. So we want to welcome everybody to the podcast and say thank you for listening. If you want to contact us, you can contact us on Instagram at Hoof Hearted Podcast. On Instagram, you can contact me, Doc Farted, on Instagram. Mex is _Mexalorian. And yeah, you can give us a message on there. You could also message us on our phone. Our phone number is 661-379-0020. And you can leave us a message. You can call us and leave a voice message or a text. And maybe I'll even be dumb enough to answer it. So yeah, I think that's about it, man. We've been doing this money thing. We've been watching this video and commenting on it about our money system. So if you haven't heard any of the other episodes, then go back and check it out. This is part 3. Also, this video is called End of the Road: How Money Became Worthless. I could put a link in the description, and I think I did the last time, and I'll do it this time too, but depending on what format how you're listening to this, the links don't always work, so you might have to copy paste or whatever. But so if you have trouble with it, it's called The End of the Road: How Money Became Worthless. So we're at about 30 minutes in, and the video is 55 minutes long, so we're almost done. We should be done after this. So anyways, but also before we get started, I just wanted to let everybody know that we are going to take a little Christmas break, so to speak. So this will be the last episode of this year, and then we will come back January 8th. So we're basically going to take about a month off. And yeah, so yeah, it's just, the Christmas time, New Year's, it's really busy for a lot of people, and people don't really listen too much to podcasts, and we've got things that we have to do as well. So a lot of work is busy for both of us, and then I got kids, and we both have families, and it's just a lot of work to do this, sit down and take the time out to record, and then trying to juggle that with responsibilities and life. It's difficult. So we're just going to go ahead and take a little break. We'll be back January 8th. And you guys should go back, listen to some of the older episodes, and then do that. If you are listening to any podcast, go back, listen to them, and then tell us which ones are your favorite. Tell us which ones are ass. Yeah. So, but I will respond if anybody ends up getting in touch with us. I will respond to you. So I will still have my phone on me. Anyways, are you ready to start, dude?
Oh yeah,
All right, let's go ahead and get started here.
let's do it.
All right, eventually.
Hyperinflation is a rapid increase in the inflation rate, so much so that people lose faith in the currency, and you see what is in effect a flight from the currency.
Defeated Germany has a runaway inflation. In Germany, the mark becomes so worthless, it is used to paper walls or to light stoves.
What happens is the government spends so much money forcing it to borrow, it gets to the stage where it's borrowing more money than the market is willing to lend to it. The central bank then steps in and turns that government debt into currency.
The great question is, and I don't know the answer, is at what level of inflation, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, do you start to panic? All I know is when that level comes, everybody panics together.
Consequence of a hyperinflation is the price of goods and services rises very, very rapidly, and that feeds upon itself, causing people to get rid of the currency even more quickly.
So you then have a situation where people go out and they buy things just to get the hell out of paper money. And paradoxically, that then starts driving and accelerating demand for paper money because they want more paper money to go and buy things. So you have this situation where the value of paper money starts collapsing in advance of its issue.
In everyday life, you'll be scrambling from day to day to get tangible things. If you're thinking of buying one can of tuna, you're going to buy two because you know that tomorrow or even later on that day or the next hour, that can of tuna is going to be costing you more.
Or you're going to buy a shit ton of toilet paper because you're afraid it's going to be
I
running
just
out.
buy a shit ton of rotisserie chickens, man. That shit fucking hits.
Yeah, but well, I guess you can freeze it.
Well, I'm just eating it that day. Are we talking? I thought he was saying we're gonna buy another one. I'm just gonna fucking eat that shit on one.
You start buying extra because you're afraid that it's going to go away.
But if you eat so much, you could kind of like hibernate like a bear, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure humans can hibernate.
Dude, I've been sleeping a lot.
Yeah, but you can't go months. If you could, that'd be crazy though, right?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Anyways,
Freeze ourselves, Walt Disney it.
yeah, dude. Yeah, go Disney style. Ted Williams. All right, here we go.
That you're going to be scrambling to get anything that's tangible.
This period is going to involve a lot of economic pain. A lot of people who are currently retired in America are going to have to get jobs. Their retirement is gone. It's been bankrupted because
I'm going to say right now, retirement is not a thing anymore. Like there's no, like for me, I already know I am not going to be able to retire. First of all, I don't have any retirement anyways, but even if I did, it's not going to be enough to survive. I'm going to work until I die. That's fine. A lot of people do that, but that's just the way it is. Like I got to find out.
There's a guy
way.
at Walmart, or no, wait, Target.
Yeah.
He's old as fuck.
Yeah.
And he drives a what is it? A Corvette, red Corvette.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a small
But he's
dick.
just going all out in his last years, man. That's what we could all do, you know? Just go into fucking hella debt.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Or go crazy and kill someone.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But we're talking about money in this episode. My bad.
Yeah. Not murder.
Next episode, guys, when we come back, murder.
Probably not, but okay. Yeah, but I was gonna say one thing though. Like I know they're talking about like inflation, and then people buying trying to buy more stuff, and then they're printing more paper, and the paper is worthless, and all this stuff. But I feel like in certain parts of America, before they would go completely insane with looting and all that other shit. I think like especially in like rural America, I think you would have much more of a barter system. So I think that we would probably go back to that. So, like, you know, you start hitting up the farmers and being like, hey, you know, I need this.
Let me fuck your cow.
Yeah, exactly. Want to inseminate your cow and then have
We need
human
more
cow
little
hybrids.
cow babies, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, is this what kind of world are we talking about right now?
What?
What kind of world are you talking? Is it just like basic, or is this survival shit?
This is basic, but I mean, in a way, it would be survival stuff because, oh fuck, man.
Oh, I thought you meant like zombie.
So, what I'm trying to say though is that because what they're saying in the video is that, you know, people are going to be scrambling to get goods, and money is going to be worthless, and you're going to have a lot of chaos. All that chaos is going to happen in large cities. In the rural areas, you're going to see people who are able to, that have skills like farming and carpentry and plumbing and, you know, all of these skills, mechanics. They're the ones that are going to have the ability to barter. They're going to be able to barter their time, their goods that they can produce, that kind of stuff for the other things, you know? So
yeah, but I'm sure, I mean, a lot of people already do that.
There are a lot of people that barter,
I feel
yeah.
like, besides that, like, just in the sense, those types of people already, I'm sure, are working that way, so they're already used to it.
Yeah.
So,
It does,
yeah, I mean, you're 100%.
It does happen, but what I'm saying is that I think that it will happen more frequently, and it'll be more out in the open, and it will be talked about as being a
normal thing.
A normal thing, or, you know, like it won't be like frowned upon, I guess, or not. It'll be a more popular option, right? Like people will understand, like, oh, I can barter, you know.
I just thought you were talking about like zombies.
No, not zombies. We already had that episode. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, in fact, I don't even remember what episode that was, but you guys can go back and check it out. We have a zombie episode. So I think that was the one about taking donations for the bunker. Can't remember. That might have been a shit hit the fan kind of thing. I don't remember. Anyways, we've had a lot of episodes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get back to it.
Let's do it.
All right. Well. Oh my God.
Remix.
Yeah, I know. What are we at? 32.19. Let me see if I can.
And that feeds upon itself, causing people to get rid of the currency even more quickly.
Is it working?
So you then have a situation where people go out and they buy things just to get the hell out of paper money.
All right,
and
we got this.
paradoxically, that then starts driving an
Just let me know
accelerating
if I need
demand
deposit.
for paper money because they want more paper money
Okay,
to
yeah, I
buy
will.
things.
I'll tell you.
So you have this situation where the value of paper money starts collapsing in advance of its issue.
In everyday life, you'll be scrambling from day to day to get tangible things.
I think we're here.
If you're thinking of buying one can of tuna, you're going to buy two, because you know that tomorrow or even later on that day or the next hour, that can of tuna is going to be costing you more. That you're going to be scrambling to get anything that's tangible.
This period is going to involve a lot of economic pain. A lot of people who are currently retired in America are going to have to get jobs. Their retirement is gone. It's been bankrupted because they put their faith in a Bernie Madoff type national Ponzi scheme. And of course, a lot of the property is going to decay if people are spending money on these necessities. They don't have money to make the repairs necessary to maintain their properties. If the landlords can't collect rents from their tenants, how are they going to maintain the properties? How are they going to pay the taxes? So I think the whole economy is going to crumble beneath the weight of this runaway inflation. And of course, the initial reaction by the Fed will be to create even more inflation, to try to stimulate the economy by printing even more money, which of course is the source of the problem.
On the surface, it would appear that this is a problem facing the United States alone. But with so many countries holding their savings in U.S. government bonds, a loss of confidence in the U.S. dollar could trigger a global crisis which would affect every nation on Earth.
If the U.S. dollar hyperinflates, the implications are really profound, because you can go to a country like Zimbabwe and see the impact of a hyperinflation. But what happens when the world's reserve currency hyperinflates? We've never been in this situation before. It's impossible to predict, what the outcome is going to be. But logic suggests that if the US dollar hyperinflates, most, if not all, of the currencies of the world will also have severe economic problems, because at the end of the day, the reserves of all of these currencies are basically dollars.
Okay. All right. There we go. Hold on. Let's read it real quick. Okay. Can you go back?
Dozens and dozens.
Just a little bit. Okay. Pause it. All right. So it says the U.S. government has a technology called a printing press, or today its electronic equivalent, that allows it to produce as many U.S. dollars as it wishes at no cost. Go ahead and push play.
What would be the electronic equivalent?
Type like a keyboard and just saying, yeah, that's money. Yeah. Bitcoin, I don't know. Go on.
I was going to say Bitcoin.
Yeah. This is Ben Bernanke, November 21st, 2002. Ben Bernanke is the current chairman of the Federal Reserve. Pause it.
That wasn't anything.
Pause it real quick.
I did.
I know we talked about Bitcoin, and from the time that we recorded the first episode, I don't remember how much Bitcoin was at that time, but since then, Bitcoin has gone over $100,000. So one Bitcoin is now over $100,000.
What is it at right now?
I am going to look right now. So,
because I know on my Cash App, because I don't have much Bitcoin, but what I do have is like $50.
Mm-hmm.
But it had grown from that to where I made 70. I just took it out and I spent it because it's just my Cash App.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have actual Bitcoin.
Oh, okay. It's at 95,000 right now. So
yeah,
it is down.
But I think the last time I looked at it was either 96 or something.
Okay.
It was up there the other day.
Well, the highest that it's been all time was 104,000. So it finally broke the 100,000 mark. Right now it's at 95. I really don't see it going down again. So not significantly like it had back in 23 and 22. So when it got all the way back down to 15, yeah, it's not going to hit 15 again. So if you are wanting to invest in some cryptocurrency, get into Bitcoin.
Go ahead, use our code.
Yeah, if only we had a code. Actually, go ahead and just put it in my wallet.
Yeah. All right.
Anyways, yeah. So,
Coinbase.
Yeah, go on Coinbase or wherever you want to do it. And yeah, man. And then I also, XRP's down again, but its all-time high was 384, but it actually got up to it got up to 290. So, and right now it's sitting at 203. So that's the other one that I have. But yeah. Cryptos, it's like investing in a stock. You know, it goes up, it goes down. It's worth as much as it moves. So if it's moving a lot and a lot of people are buying it, then it's going to go up. So anyways, a lot of people, I guess, are selling it, and that's why it's going down a little bit. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and keep it on.
Currency collapses since the end of the Second World War, and they all result from the same thing, bad policies, bad management. And the U.S. right now is pursuing bad policies. Central bank is doing a bad job managing the currency. And as a consequence, it's inevitable that the dollar is going to collapse. It's on this road that I call the fiat currency graveyard.
The markets, the private sector, however you like to decide it, people, they suddenly sort of move in a herd instinct. They suddenly sort of understand things. And this can happen overnight. I mean, it really can. So the timing of this is, I think, very difficult, if anything, impossible for us to say. But I would point out that there is the danger that, I use a metaphor, one morning we will wake up and find that we are in a very different world. It may not be one morning, it may be a week, a month, I don't know. But when it happens, I think it'll happen quite quickly, and we won't really be able to predict when.
Hyperinflation may be one of several scenarios facing the world today. But history has shown us that whenever a nation tried to run its economy using an artificial fiat system, the end result is always the same: disaster.
There is a proven 100% failure rate. There is no exception to this. Fiat currencies always fail. And then 40 years ago, we tried this grand experiment where all the world's currencies became fiat at the same time, when we ended the Bretton Woods system.
The world is going to have to extricate itself from this monetary system based on the dollar, because if you want to back your currency, you have to back it with something. You can't back it with nothing. You know, I always think of that old Superman movie where the first one where Lois Lane, you know, she falls off the top of the building and Superman catches her. And he says, "I got you, don't worry, I got you." And she says, "Well, you got me, who's got you?" Well, that's the dollar. Who's got the dollar? It's not Superman. The dollar can't fly on its own. The dollar used to be backed by gold. It was gold that had the dollar. It's like everybody has tethered their ships to the Titanic of currencies. And so we're all going to go down.
If there is a loss of confidence in the US dollar, and I think there will be in this decade, it's happened before, it'll just be history repeating, then we'll probably have to go back to something that will instill confidence. And what instills confidence is gold.
The only real solution is to go back to a real sound currency, real money with something behind it. It doesn't have to be gold or silver, but historically that has always been what societies have chosen through trial and error. They've tried this, they've tried that. They always wind up with gold or silver.
Pause it.
I think that probably is a clue that it's not a bad way to go.
Go ahead and pause
With
it.
all-
Yeah. So it's not a bad way to go. And initially, when I ended up getting into the cryptocurrency stuff, my whole goal was to invest a little bit here and there and then hope that one of them goes ahead and takes off so I can take some of the money that I end up getting and start investing it in gold and silver. Because that, to me, will never, it's not going to lose its value. It's only the more that the economy and all economies start to show their cracks, then the more valuable gold and silver becomes. So, and I hate to say it, but like fucking Alex Jones was talking about that shit forever. Like back when I was listening to him way back in the early 2000s, he was talking about that shit. Invest in gold, invest in silver, and he's not wrong. I mean, at the time,
Invest in gold. They're turning the frogs gay.
Exactly. They're turning the gold gay. But
well, it's always been shiny. So
yeah, glittery. But
glitter. Sparkle.
Fart rainbows. I wish that I would have invested back then because gold was, it was relatively cheap. I think it was like under $1,000. So I don't know what it's at right now, but I've seen it go all the way up to 1,500 an ounce. So
I think an ounce is around 2 or something. Maybe it's stuff 15, but
yeah, let me check.
I think that was more designer stuff, like was collector pieces.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The one of one and shit like that. But yeah, gold's fucking expensive now.
Yeah. Okay, so as of December 10th, 2024, the price of 1 ounce of gold is $2,704.
See, I told you.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean,
even more.
Like I said, I was, when I was looking at it, it was under $1,000. Now this was, over a decade ago. This is before my kids were born, but it was, yeah. I mean, it was under 1,000, and it's gone up 2,000 since then. So about 1,000 a decade. But if the economy falls apart, then gold and silver is where it's at. So try to save up on that.
Robbie Banks. Wait, no, don't listen to me.
Yeah. And diamonds, by the way, are worthless. The price of a diamond is artificially inflated. Don't invest
It's
in
only as worth as much as blood is on it.
Yeah, don't invest in jewels. That's not where
Invest in blood diamonds.
Yeah, don't invest in jewels. And honestly, like I don't really feel like you should invest in real estate either, but
free real estate.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, maybe, but definitely don't invest all your money in it. But
no.
I am not an investor. And I am not somebody you should take investment advice from, but definitely you should just look at gold, man. Look at gold and silver. The price has gone up. So in fact, I don't know, what is the price of silver right now? Let me check. All right, so silver is more attainable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, silver is $32 an ounce. So you could get quite a few ounces of silver. So, I mean, you can per paycheck just get an ounce of silver. So, and I'm sure I'm sure that
fucking
silver.
John Wick this shit. That's what I'd like to do is just fucking buy silver and coins up until I could just like save a little like a few briefcases underneath my house and just like keep them stocked up like that.
Yeah.
And one day someone pisses me off and I just blow off steam by busting them out, reminding myself, I got this shit.
Yeah.
I got this shit. I don't kill them. I don't kill no one. Just in case something happens one day. I don't do nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna get pissed. I can just see it.
Why? Because
go on.
Are they gonna do
I
something?
don't know. It has to be something that gets me mad and enough to. Because did you watch John Wick? He breaks his like garage to get his guns, and ignores all the gold and shit. And it's just like, God damn, oh, that's a lot of gold. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I don't know. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's get
Looper. Go on.
No, yeah, let's go ahead and continue with the show.
All right.
All the uncertainty facing the world today, a return to a gold-backed economy would seem logical. So how come there isn't so much as a discussion about such a return? The answer is as simple as it is alarming. The people at the top, the ones who have been benefiting from the current Ponzi system, don't want the ride to end. Many now believe the price of gold and silver have been artificially suppressed to make it seem less desirable as a unit of global exchange.
What governments try to do is to maintain a low gold price, because by doing that, it makes the dollar look worthy of being the world's reserve currency, when in fact we know the dollar is not worthy of that esteemed position because it's being so badly mismanaged by the United States.
Action Committee, or GATA, have been tracking what they believe is the deliberate suppression of gold and silver prices through a variety of dubious means.
All these acronyms are dope.
Nothing but evidence that supports the manipulation of the gold price. But it'd be like talking about a murder trial, when the jury would say guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but you're going to have to present each point of evidence and how it all fits together.
There are numerous methods that they use to suppress the price of gold. Some are harder to prove than others, but some of them are fully reported, and that's central bank sales.
Between 1999 and 2002, the Bank of England foolishly sold a massive amount of Britain's gold reserves at an average price of $275 an ounce. The proceeds were spent buying euros and US dollars. The governments of Canada, France, and Switzerland, among others, were also sellers of their gold around this time.
We know that the central banks used to sell 400 tons every year. Well, why were they selling 400 tons? Obviously, it was the dumbest decision anyone could have made in the decade. By far the dumbest. But they did it every year, sell 400, sell 400. I mean, now, gold goes from 300 to 1,600, almost 1,700. Why were you selling the gold? Because they were trying to keep the price down. So it was a coordinated thing to keep everyone focused on believing in currencies.
Alan Greenspan, in testimony to Congress, admitted that they were manipulating the price of gold when he said, "The world's central banks stand ready to lease gold in increasing quantities, meaning they were already doing it. Should the price of gold rise, meaning the target was to suppress the price of gold. So they were already doing it, and their target was to suppress the price of gold. He admitted it in testimony to Congress.
Although central banks are able to sell off their country's gold holdings legally, they may have also been suppressing the price of gold using some other rather questionable means. Some investigators believe that Western central banks have been loaning their country's gold to bullion banks. A bullion bank is an institution that sells gold with the intention of buying it back sometime in the future at a cheaper price. With the proceeds of this sale, these banks have been known to buy U.S. government bonds. While this isn't a problem in itself, central banks report the gold they have and the gold they've loaned to these bullion banks as one item. So while a central bank may claim it has a certain amount of gold in reserves, much of that gold may be on loan to a bullion bank, which may have sold the gold in exchange for government bonds.
One means of intervention in the gold market is the lending of gold to so-called bullion banks, and they sell it in the market. This suppresses the price as if the central banks would sell it directly, but this lending does not.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
I was paying attention like 100 times, like 100%. I look up, and this guy, that voice was coming out of this guy, and I was a little confused.
Okay, but do you know what's going on though? Do you know what
everyone's paying each other to pay each other?
Yeah, pretty much. But basically, the reserves are saying that they have the money, they have the gold, but they're loaning the money to bullion banks, bullion banks, I think is what they call it. But they're still counting they're counting that money that that gold that they've given to that bullion bank. They're counting it as in they're still in possession of it. They're like, here, why don't you go ahead and hold this gold for us? And they're like, okay. And then when you ask the reserve bank, they're like, hey, how much gold do you have? And like, oh, we have this much gold, even though it's not here, it's over at the bullion place.
That's taking someone from something and then letting someone else borrow it.
Exactly.
And saying like, yeah, I still have it. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, oh, but really, Rick has it. My bad.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then, so it's just, so it's like devaluing the gold. And it's a fucked up system. And then they're using that money, the bullion bank is using that money to get the IOUs that like America keeps racking up. So it's just, it's wild, dude. It's wild. All right, let's keep going.
Appear in the book of the central banks.
The U.S. Treasury a few years ago changed the way they account for gold, and they're accounting for some of their receivables and their inventory as one line item. So they're accounting for what they actually have and what people owe them as the same thing. And that is basically illegal accounting. It's fraudulent.
But why work so hard to keep the price of gold and silver low?
Are you set too? Or done?
Yeah, healthy gold and silver prices threaten to collapse the Ponzi scheme.
There's this competitive relationship between gold and national currencies because gold is the only competitor to a national currency. You know, gold is money, and these national currencies are money substitutes that circulate in place of gold.
Fiat money gives the power to government. Real money keeps the power with the people. Because when you have real money, government is limited. It can only spend what it taxes. And the public will resist taxation. But if the government can simply print and borrow, there's a lot less resistance. And so it's a lot easier for the government to grow when it can promise something for nothing. And so that's what they do. And so gold is what protects the people from the reckless policies of government. Gold is government chaperone. The government wants to be able to do whatever it wants. Gold stands in its way. So yes, gold is an enemy of big government, but it's a friend of freedom. It's a protector of individuals from government.
Gold's a competitor to the dollar. When it's going way up, it's a threat for inflation. It's a barometer of the well-being of the United States. Look at gold screaming now and the world's falling apart. So it calls attention to how bad things are. So the U.S. government has an interest, Wall Street, the politicians, to keep the price suppressed.
Wall Street doesn't want you going down to a coin dealer buying gold and silver coins. They want to sell you paper. The government wants to sell you paper. So I would say it's the government and Wall Street.
Gold in the hands of people is the way you control government. Governments cannot create money out of thin air. If it's gold, they can only create paper out of thin air. And if they can create paper out of thin air, they can use that paper to wage wars, or they can use that paper as a political contrivance to enrich their friends. And as a consequence, governments have been fighting gold all century long.
Despite this desire to keep gold and silver down, the recent instability in the markets has seen the demand for gold and silver skyrocket. This, in turn, has exposed a deeper problem within the central banks.
The problem the central banks in the West now face is that they have sold an awful lot of gold to try and suppress the price of gold. They are now embarrassed by the fact that central banks, not in that original cartel, are now really very keen buyers of gold. And we're talking about the Chinese, we're talking about the Russians, we're talking about the Indians, we're talking about even Mexico. All these non-mainstream
even Mexico?
banks, not part of, if you like, the top club members of the Bank of International Settlements, you know, the little guys in that context, they're picking up hundreds of tons of this stuff.
To suppress the price of gold, Western central banks have had to sell or loan out their country's gold holdings. But because the gold they sell rarely leaves their vaults, no one can be certain they aren't selling or loaning out more gold than they physically own. If this is true, then this could be one of the biggest scams ever perpetrated in history. A massive con perpetrated not by individuals, but by entire governments.
The central bank gold, most of it sits at the New York Federal Reserve and the Bank of England. So it's in the basement of these two places, and it doesn't actually move. When a country is doing international settlement, they basically take a bar off of this pile and put it on that pile. Or they'll just change the labels, or it's just a book entry, it's accounting. Except there's been some pretty creative accounting on all this gold, and I doubt very much that I don't think all of it is there.
The question remains, if everybody, especially the big players, wanted all of their gold delivered at the same time, it is physically impossible to do it.
Most gold that exists on the planet, there's more than one claim on each ounce of gold. There's several people that think that they have title to that same ounce of gold. I have said many, many, many times, over and over again, if you can't hold it, you don't own it.
The game can't go on forever because sooner or later people are going to demand their physical gold or silver, and that already is happening.
The lack of accountability in gold sales by Western central banks hasn't been a concern so far. But as more and more buyers of gold have started to demand physical delivery, central banks that have oversold or loaned out their country's gold will find themselves caught in a major scandal. The result of such fraudulent activity means buyers of gold, be they individuals, pension or hedge funds, or even entire nations, could be ripped off for billions of dollars.
It's a little similar than the Murdoch scandal here at Fox News in London, the Madoff scandal. I mean, it's a very incestuous relationship between press, big money, and the politicians. And unfortunately, these things don't get correct until they blow up. Madoff blew up, Murdoch blew up. The gold market is going to blow up, and I think will be a bigger scandal than either of them because it's a worldwide financial situation.
Hold on. I did want to say real quick that they were talking about how these countries were demanding their gold back. And I remember seeing something about that, like within the last 10 years. I don't remember exactly when, but I remember seeing some news article about how certain countries were demanding their money back or their gold, and then trying to go off of to take themselves off of the dollar. So I think like India was one of those countries, but I can't remember.
I think it's like the BRICS, so probably India.
The what?
That's what the BRICS nations are, isn't it?
Not sure. I don't know. But yeah, I didn't follow it that much. I just thought it was interesting at the time. So I remember that it happened, but yeah. So anyways, all right, here we go. I'll skip it.
The only trick that the politicians in power today know, and the central bankers, the only trick they know is to create more money out of nothing, to inflate the currency. They have no other trick. So as long as we keep looking to them to be our leaders and solve the problem, how can we expect anything else? That's the only trick they know. Because the only other trick there is to stop inflating and to go back to a sound currency. And that would say, they'd say, oh no, we can't do that. And the reason they can't do that is because it would put them all out of business. They wouldn't be able to continue the Ponzi scheme.
Even with cracks forming in the current financial system, the only solutions offered by governments are in fact just more steps down the road to disaster. But while a single person may not be able to save the world, there is still something you can do to protect your family and yourself.
You cannot turn to a Ponzi schemer and ask him to run a real business because he doesn't know how. So you can't turn to all of these Ponzi schemers in government who are inflating the currency and say, well, let's solve the crisis in some other way, because they don't know how. So the solution is to quit depending on the same people with the same mentality to solve our problems.
If governments won't go back on a gold standard, individuals can go back on the gold standard all by themselves. Politicians can create fiat money at will. That's why it's fiat. So why would you want to put your faith in that? Put your trust in politicians and bureaucrats and central bankers when you can just have something real that has intrinsic value, that is scarce, and that is going to remain scarce.
Would you rather have gold or a fiat currency? And we see what's happening in the world, and obviously people are starting to figure out that gold is likely to sustain its value way more than a piece of paper is.
It's not that the price of gold is going up, it's that the value of the dollar is going down. The price remains constant in terms of human effort and purchasing power. An ounce of gold today will buy the same thing it bought 2,000 years ago. An ounce of gold today takes so much human effort to get out and refine the same human effort that it took to do certain things 2,000 years ago. It's the human effort equation that maintains stability. How much effort does it take?
Gold is financial insurance. And the thing about it is you own it because you want to be protected. And, you know, you just have to have it if you want to have or sleep at night, because there's nothing else. You know, if some catastrophic event happens, and we've seen them, how are you going to be protected?
1 second, sorry.
Sure, no problem.
Just touching myself.
Okay.
It's talking about money over here, you know.
The financial system may be dying.
Love it.
But where there is chaos, there is also opportunity. As the old model falls apart, the door may be opened for great prosperity.
It's clearly not the end of the world. I mean, it's probably not even the end of America. For many countries, this is going to be the beginning of an economic boom, a giant burden being lifting off their shoulders, where the world no longer has to loan trillions of dollars to Americans so that we can continue to consume what we don't produce. When this comes to an end, the world will benefit. So it is not something that we should fear. We should embrace it as a world.
This is the greatest wealth transfer in history. If we have a global currency crisis, then you're going to see a greater wealth transfer than has ever happened in all of history. It's all going to happen at once. Therefore, it's the greatest opportunity.
We have millions of people now taking an interest in what is money, the question of what is money, what should it be? And they're learning, especially a lot of young people.
The sun will rise tomorrow, as it has a million times before. Commuters will wake up and travel to their offices to begin the day's work. Farmers will tend to their crops, and construction workers will build new infrastructure. But will the world they live in still be the same? In 2008, the world was given a wake-up call. The biggest financial crash in human history was delayed by the same poor decisions that brought it about in the first place. What that massive bailout bought us was not a solution, but merely time. Time for the people responsible to wring the last few dollars out of a dying system. But also, for those able to see the cliff edge approaching, time to protect themselves and their families from the imminent plunge. And in the end, that time may prove to be the most valuable commodity of all.
There are these brief moments in history where the safe haven asset for the last 5,000 years simultaneously becomes the asset class that has the greatest single potential gains in purchasing power. We're in one of these cycles right now where money is the best investment. Get out of currency, buy money, and you're probably going to be able to buy a whole lot more stuff later. For getting financial.
Yeah, I guess.
Or is there more?
Yeah, there's a couple more. Let them finish.
Educated. This is the most important thing. Don't let the banks and the brokerage houses and other people guide all of your decisions. Find out what's going on for yourself. Empower yourself.
All right. Yep. That's it. All right, you could go ahead and stop it.
Red.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
What's your guys' take on it?
Yeah.
Give it a few seconds. Mine too. Like some Dora ass shit.
Dora. Yeah. Yeah. No. I was just gonna say, like, I think one of the things that's important is knowing the distinction between money and currency. Like, they talked a lot about that. Like, you know, what is money? What is currency? So money is like something tangible, like gold and silver. Currency is the bullshit paper that they have. So distinguishing between the two of those things, you know, and they were saying that, like, invest in money, invest in gold, silver. So then that way you can future-proof your future, basically. So the one thing, though, that they were talking about is, like, he was saying that there's going to be a shift in wealth. And I don't think that there is going to be a shift in wealth. To me, I feel like the people who are already rich, like the people who are millionaires and billionaires, the people who are billionaires,
like, they won't shift out.
No. If anything, they're going to get more wealthy and more powerful because they already know that the system is rigged. They already know the scam. They've been running it, and they've already got their safety net for if things do happen. But it's all the people who are in the lower class, the middle class, the upper middle class. Those are all the people, and even some of those will be millionaires. But those are all the people that are going to fall flat on their ass. And it's going to eliminate they talk about, like, the 1%, right? It's going to be the 1%, and then everybody else is like they're all lumped together, and they're all going to be fucking broke. You know, because, I mean, even if we're investing in gold and silver, there's no way that we're ever going to be able to invest enough or be able to purchase enough to match what fucking Jeff Bezos has, or
his wife.
And his wife, yeah, due to the divorce.
Or smart bitch.
Yeah, or Bill Gates. I love how she gets they get a divorce, and then she instantly becomes the most wealthy female in the whole world. That's fucking insane. But anyways, but yeah, Bill Gates, like, these people already have an insane amount of wealth, and that's not going anywhere. And we're not going to be able to match them just by buying, you know, a silver coin once a month, or an
Yeah,
ounce of
but
gold a
it's
year.
it's not about the destination. It's about the friends we make along the way.
That's right. Yes, exactly. And it's about family. Fast and Furious. So,
and burning up in cars.
That's right. Yep.
That's the only part I remember about that movie.
Dude, did you know that Paul Walker had dandruff?
No.
Yeah, it's because they found his Head and Shoulders in the glove box.
Thought you were gonna say he was ashy all over the place.
No. Okay, that's a stupid joke. Anyways, yeah. So, you know what? I'm trying to. I think Art told me that joke. I don't know, Art. If you did tell me that joke, thanks. That was funny. And let me know. But yeah, I think we should probably wrap it up here because we're sitting at about an hour. So
sure.
But real quick though, I want to get your opinion on what you saw and where do you think we're heading, and do you think that there's any way that we can pull, that we could turn this around, either as individuals or as a country?
Just take advantage of shit. That's the only way. I mean, they're already doing like mostly a Ponzi scheme. Just gotta take advantage of the ride too.
True. Yeah.
Either jump along board and not even like necessarily position of power or some shit, but that's a quick way. Or like insurance policies, man. Like that's one thing a lot of people fucking use. As long as you're able to throw a shit ton of money in it, they don't give a fuck what you take out.
Yeah.
So
there's no interest on that, right?
No.
Yeah. And it's not taxable, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Because you've already been taxed on it. You're putting it in from your taxed money.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're saying that get a life insurance policy, invest in the life insurance policy, and then you're able to take money out against, like, so you're able to take a loan against the money that's in the insurance policy, correct?
Yeah, like as far as I'm aware, you'll still have to, like, say you get it for a car, like you have the 2,000 to put down, and then after that it's like what 400, 500 for bills, or like monthly, depending on the car, obviously. So you would be able to just take that 500 out every month you need to, or they would draw it from the account.
Oh, okay.
And it'd be like you're funding your own bank.
Okay. Yeah.
You just gotta, pay the minimum and then pay yourself back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if you don't, and you've paid off the car, then whatever you haven't paid off, that's what your family will get when you pass away.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
So,
but I mean that it is a good way to be able to get a loan that has no interest, and you're not paying, and then it's not like a retirement where you're having to pay taxes on it. So a life insurance policy is a good idea, and I wish I would have done that when I was younger, like when I was like in my 20s. Fuck, dude. Then I could have been paying into it a little bit here and there, and I would have had plenty of money to be able to afford certain things,
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's what I'm starting. I just pay this like the smallest amount.
Yeah.
Until I'm done with all my debt, and then I'll be paying fucking a lot more.
Yeah. But
into it, so I could just take it back out and get a new car when I actually want to. Like right now, I don't give a shit about that stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But see, and the thing is too, though, is that like, so we're talking like everything that we just talked about, right there, all of that is with currency. So really, the smart thing to do would be, yes, you need dollar bills, or wherever you're listening, whatever currency, whatever paper money there is, you need them because that's the way our society works. But really, you should take those worthless things of paper and turn them into something tangible like silver and gold. Something like that when when it is officially said that those pieces of paper aren't worth anything anymore, that tangible stuff will be worth something. Countries are doing that now. You know, they're getting out of, you know, their paper currency, and they are getting their gold back here and there. So, you know, if they're doing it, then, you know, like they said in this video, you do it on a personal level, you know. So start like investing in other things, so then that way you
Invest
are
in
keeping
yourself.
Invest
in yourself
too. Yeah. But then that way you can go ahead and you know, you're keeping
Buy shit
yourself
for yourself.
Yeah, but you're keeping yourself you know, afloat when shit gets really bad. And shit will get bad. So I mean, you know, we had the 2008 the housing bubble. That's not the last time that shit's gonna happen. Fuck, it might happen again soon. Another housing bubble. Who knows? So, you know, protect yourself and do it by investing in multiple things. And
Guns, double tap.
Wait, did you say nuns double tap?
Guns,
Oh,
double
guns,
tap.
double tap,
Or
yeah.
nuns.
Zombie.
Nuns too. Need something to bless you when you're in the zombie apocalypse.
That's right. Yeah, you always go zombie apocalypse. You know that I even though I think
don't know,
that could happen.
I just watched and it popped up on your screen when we were sharing the video, the 28 Years Later trailer.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I think that's more fresh on the brain, but also I like the idea.
Sorry.
Huh?
I said brains because you said it's fresh on the brain. Yeah. I know. I get it. I do think that a zombie apocalypse could be real. It could be something that happens, but I think
there's insects that turn other insects into zombies.
Yes, but it is more likely.
There's humans that turn other humans into zombies, called wives.
Yeah.
But
there's more likely that there will be an economic collapse, and that is the apocalypse that we should be prepared for. So I'm not saying to be a doomsday prepper, but you know, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea. So
I am, and if you guys are, show us your prep.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you're
send us pictures.
Yeah,
Who Farted?
Yeah, send us pictures of your setup and the location, so then that way we know where to go when shit hits the fan.
Yeah, and any instructions or like inventory lists would help too.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Yes, and your PIN
I
number.
don't want to guess when I get there.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need your PIN number.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Like,
okay. All right, man.
They're actually like putting the code on there. That shit's just like under lock, dude. We'll just break it.
Okay.
We set.
Yeah, and they've got turrets, like, you know, machine guns and everything, and a moat. Dude, I hope
think
they
the
have
people that listen to us right now have a turret and a moat. Probably a moat.
A moat, that would be rad.
bet
With a
they'd have
drawbridge.
mostly a moat, yeah.
That'd be cool. I'm gonna ask Burrito if he's got a moat.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, are you ready, man? I'm playing these horns.
Do it.
All right, you got anything last minute to say?
Transformers roll out. No, I've been watching lots of Transformers movies this week.
What if they have a Transformer zombie movie?
That'd be, dude. They've been doing a bunch of G.I. Joe shit for the last few like decent movies.